right. Make sure we good over here. Let me check my phone. I think we good. Check my phone over here. But if we are good, welcome back to another episode of Draft Junkies with myself and Chris. Oh, it just popped up. There we go. Welcome back to another episode of Draft Junkies with Chris Just Joking and myself, Coach Evans. What's good with you, Chris, on this good Tuesday afternoon? We're back with some interior defensive line guys. We're going to talk about how you doing.
I'm doing well, man. I'm excited to get into this group. It's probably my favorite position group in this whole class, so I'm excited to get into it.
Extremely deep. And so I teased a surprise guest for this episode, and just so happened it happened to come through. They didn't get blown away, but what they got this morning, we're in the process of getting probably in the middle of the night tonight. So I'm gonna bring my extra special surprise guest in. The man, the myth, the legend, Vach Lombardi. What's good, Vach?
Hey, man, appreciate you. Thanks for having me. A little bit of wind can't hold us down. You know how it is, man. You come on, man. So, you said, Vach, can you come through? And I don't say yeah to everybody. I'd be actively leaving people on red, but I wouldn't dare leave you on red or not show up after you told me to come through. So, hey, man, appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. Hey, black actors, we got to stick together. Got to stick together. Most definitely. Hey, just for the support.
There you go.
I got one of them for what? I had this about 3 years now. Good thing I can get in it because at one point I couldn't get in it after I bought it.
Progress. Coach, let me ask you a question, man. Right off the bat, man. We just content, man. We talking, right?
Right.
Philosophically, right? I noticed a trend in the names that you sent me. You know what I'm saying? You didn't send me Mason Graham. You didn't send me, Grant. You didn't, like the top of the board guys, the likely first or the likely third round or the likely second round guys, right? Do you believe philosophically, because it's for you and your Ravens folk, do you think philosophically that like third round, fourth round, fifth round is kind of what you're gonna be looking at for tackle help, one tech or three tech?
I do, and I'll let Chris answer this as well. I think we're probably push edge earlier because we really do have two interior guys, Matabika and Travis Jones. So I think we're looking for a third guy to kind of build on, similar to what those green people got.
I agree with that. With one caveat. If a Walter Nolan is there at 27,
oh yeah.
I don't know if EDC, well, obviously it depends how the board falls and everything like that, but I think Walter Nolan is a guy who I think they might give some consideration if he's there at 27. But I'm with you as far as like third, fourth round, around that area.
I'll say this though, man. Just looking at this class, like normally how I treat tackles and all that, you're either like a super elite dude that's gonna go top 12 or 15, or you're gonna be a fat kid that's gonna go way in the back, like third or like seventh round or something like that. Like it's really not a whole bunch of nuance when you sifting through these guys, but this class is a weird class for the interior D line because there's so many of them, and they all strong and they all athletic. They, somewhat all got pass rush ability to them. And I was saying to some of the Cowboy guys I work with, the 360-pound can't move guy don't really exist anymore. Like the biggest, heaviest guys like Williams, Tyleek Williams, like Caldwell, like they 330, 340
and can move,
but they running around at 3. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just thinking, is this football evolving to where the fat can't run kid don't exist anymore? And now you got these pocket pushing, gap exchanging. Oh, it's third down, leave me out there. You know what I'm saying? Big guys or whatever.
Can we say the model is moving toward what Aaron Donald was? Sure. And not saying they're gonna be good as him, but that's what people are looking for, because Michael Pierce, which we have on the team, is one of the last of a dying breed for a guy to be that big.
Yeah. Mason Graham, we ain't talk about him because he ain't in y'all range or whatever, right? But he's technically a one tech by trade. Like he's a one tech kind of sort. Like he can play some three, but they're talking about it as he could be a one, he could be a three. Like he, but he's 295 at the combine and all this. So I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with D tackle this year. Like what's going on with are we trying to get smaller on purpose to try to get pass rush involved? Because we got about 6 rounds worth of good pass rushing D linemen, and some of the guys you sent me, they all can get upfield a little bit.
I agree. Chris, me and Chris was talking about this earlier. I think we just looking for depth because I think most of us are on that Eagles hangover with seeing them just run interior defensive linemen out there. And so with this class being as deep as it is, and I think there are guys out there to be had. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, look at the weekly chalk talk episodes we would have when we would say Matabike and Travis Jones were out. There was a big drop off when you have Brent Urban and Michael Pierce. But if you can have those guys that are interchangeable, where there's not such a huge drop off, yeah, maybe this guy is 290 but can't stop the run, but he's going to give you some juice in the pass game. So I think finding those guys and being able to fit them in kind of like a puzzle to not be that all-around guy that I feel like the NFL was so obsessed with, but find these specialists who you can bring off and give your main guys a breather.
Right. Kind of like what happened with the linebacker position. The linebacker position got smaller and faster.
Sure.
So maybe it's trending down.
Well, Coach, all that means is that run game coming right back, and
which is
all these.
You saw what happened today.
Offensive linemen gonna start leaning on you again. So it's all gonna make
cyclical is the word. Yeah.
Look at that Brown. Look at that Browns versus Bills game.
Yeah.
I mean, not Browns. Broncos. Because Broncos got that light D line. They'll get after the quarterback, but Bills were like, all right, look what we do when we put this 6 offensive linemen on the field.
Cowboys, man. I mean, you can pass rush all day. Like, we'll pass rush and catch picks all day, boy, but we can't stop the run. I mean, we'll never get a chance to pass rush, and that's how they get us.
All right, so let's dive into these 6 guys we got. Let me get them up on the screen. Right there, maybe. Nope, that's not it either. There we go. All right, so the first guy we're going to talk about is Darius Alexander, interior D lineman from Toledo. I don't know why I got junior/senior, but hey, charge to me, that's messed up. 6'4", 305. So we actually have combine numbers this time. This is the first episode we actually have combine numbers. Arm length 34, 10-yard split, 172. Don't care about his 40 because he's a lineman, and then 3-cone 3.6. So you see the positives and the negatives. Let's run this little. Now I will say this little before this plays. I'm trying to figure out ways to beat the algorithm. And y'all know who the algorithm is. I can't say the full name because they might pick up on it with AI. So, I'm playing with video, trying to beat the algorithm. So
you can't even say algorithm? You can't even say algorithm?
Well, I don't want Big Brother to, I want Al to look and see what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, damn.
So
say algorithm.
Just know. I say algorithm.
Rhythm and blues, all right. Go ahead.
You hear that, Chris?
No, I don't hear it.
Nope. No volume. My bad. We know how we do it. Mess it up. Know how I do it. I got to go fix it.
Build a wireless in the air.
Yeah, right. Got to. Let me. I tried something different. See, I should have stuck to what I was doing.
See, they already on you for that Al Gore rhythm. I'm talking about Al Gore.
You can dance. Al Gore is 2-step.
All right, we should be good. If I hit enter. All right, let's come back over here from the beginning. Now, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me now.
I can hear you.
I got to hit the button first.
Darius Alexander is a towering and imposing presence on the defensive line, standing at 6'4" and weighing 310 pounds. A dominant run stopper, he thrives as an elite 2-gapper with an uncanny ability to anchor against double teams and control the line of scrimmage. His raw power, technical hand usage, and disciplined leverage make him a nearly immovable force in the trenches. Alexander's ability to extend and read running backs' tracks allows him to clog running lanes with ease, making him an ideal fit as an early down 3 technique. His athleticism is evident, showing flashes of lateral quickness and disruptive penetration, hinting at untapped potential in the passing game. However, Alexander's pass rushing ability remains a work in progress. While he possesses the tools, strength, agility, and flashes of finesse moves like the swim and cross chop, his inconsistent motor in passing situations raises concerns. He has the physical attributes to be more tenacious, yet his urgency and relentlessness vary from snap to snap. Still, his late career surge and standout performances suggest that, with the right coaching, he could unlock even greater potential at the NFL level.
All right, that's Darius Alexander. And so you can see his stats up there for his 5 years at Toledo, and you can see his snap count and his PFF grades and all that. But what you're here for is the actual analysis. And we'll start with Chris. Tell me what stood out to you or what did not stand out to you for Darius Alexander.
So right away, once you watch him, you can see this dude is a bull in the China shop type of pass rusher. Like, he wants to win with strength and he wants to win with speed. He just wants to run right through you. And obviously, there are going to be questions about the level of competition. I think he, kind of quieted those down with his performance at the Senior Bowl. I think he did well. He didn't blow it up or anything like that, but I felt like he held his own. And the other question is going to be, how high do you take somebody who's going to be a 25-year-old rookie? Now, for me, if I love the player enough, I take him at back end of the first round, second round. For me, I'm not in love with him. I do like him. I like him a lot. I think right now he's like we spoke about with Shamar Stewart. Like, right now he is a ball of clay now, who is gonna win off of just his athletic and strength ability right now. But once you start adding on to it and start to give him more of a pass rushing repertoire, I think he can develop into, somebody similar to like a Muhammad Wilkerson. I think you look at the body type, you look at the athletic ability, the testing, you can get a Muhammad Wilkerson type in there with Darius Alexander.
Watch, what'd you think about him?
Powerful hands. Powerful hands. Pop off the line of scrimmage. Length. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he knows how to play football just yet. You know what I'm saying? So, like, when I see these, you just stacking, you just gonna stack and shed the hell out this kid, ain't you? Do it again. And he just run down the middle of somebody next play. You know what I'm saying? I think that's gonna kind of catch up to him. And I don't really do well with the high ceiling guys that don't really know football just yet. I'm not the biggest fan of those guys. I don't trust coaches like that. I trust my eyes first. I would rather get somebody that I know can do something right now and knows, how to do this, how to do that, and not just so, sometimes I'm doing this, sometimes I'm doing this. The very first lesson that they tell us in ball school is that you have to be lower than the man that's on the other side of you, and he get high. Boy, he stand up real high. That hat level get real bad, but he probably get high because he tired. You know what I'm saying? So that comes down to, you know what I'm saying, fat boys being fat boys or whatever. So I got a second round grade on, please.
Or old.
Me necessarily, I don't really care about the age of a guy. You know what I'm saying? Because if he shows up and he beat the hell out of everybody at 26 years old, cool. I just got you whooping people at 26 years old. I may not have you forever, but I got you good, for a smooth 4 or 5 years. So I got him in the second round. I got him after guys like Nolan, Harmon, Williams, and Grant. But cool player. He just got to work on his pad level and just doing it every time. Just working on the, simple stuff, the layups every time.
What I got for him is very athletic for IDL, has violent hands. He has that signature arm over move that he is like his go-to, and he understands leverage for the most part. And like you said, with the stacking and shedding, he not bad at that. But one thing I like what Chris said was he's talking about the age. I'd rather have a 22, 21-year-old ball of clay than a 25. But
yes,
now that you say, that maybe he good for that rookie deal,
sure,
maybe a backup guy. So
ball of clay, that's fair. Like, as an old ball of clay, you ain't gonna figure this out till you're 30. That's fair. But if you ready to go right now, then I could deal with you being 25, 26. But as a ball of clay, that's fair. You're right.
Cool.
Kind of like Calvin Ridley. When Calvin Ridley came out, he was older, but he was
right.
He had more of that technician to his game.
He was ready, yeah.
Calvin, he just finishing his first contract. He 30, 31,
29, 30, or something like that.
Yeah. Let's go on to this guy. This is a guy that I got mixed feelings about. So I'm very interested to see how you guys feel about him. Local kid for me, Josh Farmer. And let's run through this real quick.
Joshua Farmer is a dynamic and explosive interior defensive lineman with a unique blend of raw power and lateral quickness. At 6'3" and 318 pounds, he thrives in one-on-one matchups, using his brute strength to shed blockers and create chaos in the backfield. His versatility is a major asset, as he has experience playing across the defensive front, from 0 tech to 7 tech, making him a valuable chess piece for any defensive scheme. Farmer's ability to penetrate gaps, extend his arms to locate ball carriers, and disrupt zone concepts makes him a nightmare for offensive linemen. His quick and active hands allow him to disengage from blocks efficiently, and when he times his first step correctly, he can be a disruptive force against both the run and the pass. However, Farmer's game has notable areas that need refinement.
Lots.
His inconsistent pad level and first step explosion can cause him to lose leverage, particularly against lateral double teams, where he struggles to anchor down effectively. While he has the tools to generate pressure as a pass rusher, his approach lacks a clear plan, often resulting in him getting caught on blocks rather than executing decisive moves.
Now, Josh Foreman. I know you and Brian Broaders talked about him at length. I started watching it, and I remember that he was got clicked off. Yeah. So I'm interested to see what you think about Joshua Botch.
I love to tell people, like terms that we use in ball that they wouldn't think is term is like chicken wing is a real football term.
Oh, we know about that, don't we, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
Chicken wing is a real life football term. People wouldn't even know that they wouldn't even know. Josh got all the skills to be great. Mm-hmm. All the size, the athleticism, the length, the power, and he gets sacks and pressures. Mm-hmm. He gets sacks and pressures. He just get them running down the middle of people and chicken winging. Like that's how he get them, you know. So he's another one of these. Thank you, ma'am. He's another one of these. If I can fix you. Mm-hmm. If I can fix you, you can't run down you just can't run down the middle of a pro chicken wing. You can do it to college kids, right? But as far as if he can fix that, if he can learn how to use his length, I mean, because he'll use it sometimes. You'll see him use his length sometimes. You'll see him punch sometimes effectively, right? But for the most part, they got chicken wing out there. But he wins. So now you are, as a coach or as a scout, you thinking like, man, if I could. You know what I'm saying? So, great player. I think he can play 1 and 3. I think he's powerful enough to be an interior one guy sometimes, but probably going to be B gap guy more than likely, or whatever, pass rush type of dude, run game dude. He's fantastic. I just value nuance. So on my board, this is my board personally, and I love the player. I got glowing remarks on the player. He's just chicken wing and he run down the middle of people. That's what coaching is for. Coach him out of it. I got him in the 4th round. And it's not really a knock to him. It's just that when you start naming the guys on this list, some of these guys don't chicken wing. Right. Some of these guys are technically refined right now. Some of these guys are just as strong and just as athletic as you. So I just got to bump him down the board because he just doesn't have the tools that those guys have. But physically, he's better than a lot of those guys. He just don't always show it.
True that, Chris.
Yeah, like when I started doing some research on him, I was excited because I'm like, all right, prototypical 3-tech build, former defensive end. So I'm thinking I'm going to see like a Justin Madubuike type, but there was no wiggle to his game. The burst is hot and cold sometimes. Like sometimes he'll burst through and he'll kind of leave his teammates out to dry because he'll split through a gap that he's not supposed to be in, and you see that way too much on the FSU defensive line, just as a whole.
Like, what school?
FSU.
Okay.
So I'm happy to hear that, both of you guys were kind of like, because I've heard people that are really, really high on him. So I was like, is something wrong with my eyes? Like, because I didn't really see what some other people are saying when they throw him up there as like a round 2 pick or something like that. But I do like him as far as being able to play the run. I do like his ability to use his length. He does that very well when he's able to press out offensive linemen. But just as far as being the whole package of playing the run and being able to mix it up in the pass game, it kind of left a little bit to be desired.
I agree. What I got for him, he has excellent quickness for his size, extremely powerful, but that kind of he relies on that too much. The ability, like his positive, the most positive thing he does to me is slant. And I think what he does is because he's so big that the O linemen don't think he can move that. Like that first step is not that quick. He's a great slanter, but once he slants, Guess what comes out? Botch. Chicken wing.
Chicken wing.
So once he slants, it's like he'll go across your face. There's no rip. That's just that. And then you kind of stuck out there, and good old linemen gonna replace their hands and block you.
Yeah. Coaches should fix that, but if when you in college, man, it's just so much faster, and they ain't got time to be working on your form. If you can get 9 sacks, I mean, like he got 17 sacks over his whole life. Look, if you can get him chicken, look, just do your thing, player. Just work on it on the weekends, but knock yourself out.
The thing I like about Josh is he can go in 3rd, 4th, 5th round, and if he just happens to go to like you said, the right coaching or the right situation, they all have a star. Not saying he'll be all pro or nothing, but they all have a guy that they can kind of put in the mix with some other guys and be kind of dangerous if they use them right.
Let them sit, let them learn, and pop out later.
Yep. All right, let's go to the next guy on here. As the airplane goes over me, Aeneas Peoples, interior defensive lineman from Virginia Tech, 6 foot, kind of on the shorter side, 6 foot, 1/2 inch, 282 pounds. Arm length 31. I think it's the shortest of the 3 guys we've shown so far. 10-yard split, 1.7, and again 40. We don't really care about with these interior D linemen unless it blows you out. I will say it is under 5, but under 5 for the O lineman is good. Under 5 for the D lineman, for some of them guys, the way they built happens.
Aeneas Peoples is a fiercely disruptive interior defensive lineman known for his compact and powerful build. Standing at 6 foot 0.5 and weighing 282 pounds, Peoples compensates for his shorter stature with exceptional technique and an elite center of gravity. His relentless motor and violent play style make him a formidable force on the defensive front. Throughout his collegiate career, including a standout final season at Virginia Tech, he demonstrated an uncanny ability to penetrate offensive lines, utilizing quick hands and a keen sense of opposing momentum to disrupt plays in the backfield. His versatility across various defensive line positions, combined with his physicality, earned him first-team All-ACC and third-team AP All-American honors in 2024. At the 2025 NFL Scouting Combine, Peebles showcased his athleticism by recording a 40-yard dash time of 4.94 seconds and a vertical jump of 32.5 inches. These impressive numbers highlight his explosiveness and agility, traits that are crucial for interior linemen. However, concerns about his short, stocky frame and limited versatility persist, potentially capping his ceiling as a pass rusher.
All right, that is Aeneas Peoples, the interior defensive lineman from Virginia Tech. He's had 4 seasons at Duke first. 4. So he transferred to Virginia Tech in conference for that last year, and production kind of stayed the same. It actually went down sack-wise, but over his 5-year career, 14 sacks, 98 total pressures, 37 last year. Chris, go first with Aeneas Peoples.
Yeah, man, I didn't really want to go into it liking this dude because he's so small. But I put the tape on and I fell in love with him. Just the burst off the line, and obviously 282. All right, obviously you want somebody bigger, but he can hang. Like he can be stout. He can set his butt down and he's not going to get walked backwards. And I really like that about him. I like those smaller dudes who are tough and tenacious. And I did a little bit of digging into his background, and there's a reason why he can rush the passer. His dad, I believe his dad had like 14 sacks in a season or something like that when he was in college. His grandfather used to play for the Chargers. He's in their Hall of Fame.
Okay.
His mom used to be a softball player in college. So, he comes from a rich background when it comes to sports. And, this dude, like, you can just tell that he's honed his craft when it comes to being able to rush the passer. Because right now he has tools on top of tools when it comes to being able to mix it up and just throw a different array of moves at an offensive lineman. And I really like that. And then when you couple that with just the athletic gifts that he has, because he's quick as hell, he got some wiggle, he can bend a little bit too. So I really do like what he brings to whatever team he's on, and I really would like to see him used kind of in that Milton Williams kind of way. where he's not asked to do so much, but he's more of that specialist like we spoke about earlier.
I agree when you said Ben, because I was thinking, well, he ain't got far to Ben down to at 6 feet. But Vaj, you go ahead. What you think about Aeneas?
I have him ranked the highest out of everybody that we've shown.
Okay.
And it's just because I can see him working his hands already. Like I can see him like having different moves and setting up those moves. And it was against I don't even remember what game it was, but it was like he was just setting up this outside rush all day, setting up the outside rush all day. Probably Miami. Then he boom step crossface, got back there, boy. And I can just appreciate somebody that rushes with pass rush plans. Now, if I had to pick out of the athletically gifted stud that got the arm length and the power, but he chicken wings, or the 280-pound character that shows me how he gets it done, I'm taking the 280-pound character every single time, because this makes me feel like, okay, well, day one, he's ready to go right now. You know what I'm saying? And he probably won't be like a starter type guy. So let me just kind of, cool that off a little bit, just in case anybody's listening right now. But just as a guy that can just rotate in and just do something for you, not just a guy that's just not active every single week or whatnot. But it's all about the nuance, and it's all about the, hey man, low man win. Nuance, low man win, pass rush, having a plan, constantly on the other side of the line of scrimmage. And I can vouch for that over some of the other guys that that's ball of clay guys.
Right. What I got for him is an impressive spin move from interior defensive lineman, and he understands how to set up offensive linemen. And that was funny that you said that, because again, like Chris said every week, we ain't had no pre-live conference.
Right.
I just sent names, and these are honest opinions. So
I was late.
The fact that he said set up kind of runs into what I said. I also say it has good motor and does a good job of retracing on screens, which is, you need a D lineman to do that, because at some point the NFL, they'll throw a bunch of screens if they can't get any if they can't run the ball. So you need a guy that gonna have that effort to get back down the field. But as far as what I liked out of him, that Miami game, and I ain't gonna say, and they should have won that game. They got screwed out. They got screwed, but he did some stuff to one of the guys that me and Chris like, Rivers, that it should be outlawed.
Yeah.
He was getting busy on them cats. And then
Jalen Rivers, all right, man. Jalen Rivers he be leaning a little too much for me, but it's all good.
I like his versatility. I like his, and I think we talked about Jalen the first show, didn't it, Chris?
Yeah, we did, but then the YouTube feds shut that down quick.
I know, like that part of the video got cut out quick.
Got to zoom in on that stuff, man.
I'm learning. I'm figuring it out. Because we started with just full screen stuff. That ended real quick.
Yeah, they'll get you.
All right, next up, Jamari Caldwell, interior defensive lineman from Oregon, 6'2", 332. Botch mentioned him earlier about running around doing some things. 32-inch arm length, 1.8.
Jamari Caldwell is a formidable interior defensive lineman, renowned for his stout, sawed-off frame and low center of gravity. Standing at 6'2" and weighing 332 pounds, he possesses impressive power at the point of attack, allowing him to disrupt offensive lines effectively. His relentless motor and strong work ethic have been evident throughout his collegiate career, particularly during his tenure at Oregon, where he earned second-team All-Big 12 honors in 2023. Caldwell's ability to penetrate gaps and apply pressure in the backfield makes him a valuable asset in run defense. At the 2025 NFL Scouting Combine, Caldwell recorded a 40-yard dash time of 5.16 seconds, showcasing his athleticism for a player of his size. However, concerns regarding his arm length and wingspan persist, potentially limiting his effectiveness in consistently pressuring quarterbacks and handling duo blocks.
With duo blocks, that means double team. That's why I want to stop it right there, because the duo, some people hear duo and they think the offensive play, when it speaks duo, it means handling double teams. But Jamari Caldwell, Bach, I'll start with you.
I didn't like his film necessarily. When I was watching, he's 330 some pounds. So when you 330, I expect you to play a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of want you to be the hunker down, take the double team guy. And sometimes he does. Sometimes he'll feel the double team, get on one knee, boom, linebacker do his thing, fine. But most of the time, I'm watching him and he's trying to shake people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He's chopping his feet trying to move sideways at 330. He moves well for 330. That don't mean I want you chopping your feet trying to shake people move sideways, right? Sometimes he does sit down on it. Sometimes he does a one text job. I'm not going to beat him down too bad, but because this could have been coaching. But most of the time, if you look over at Harmon's doing his job versus
getting busy,
tearing him up. You know what I'm saying? I just wish I saw Caldwell doing more of that. So I guess he's strong because I've seen him do it. I know he's big because I've seen him do it. He doesn't have all the length in the world, so that's fine. Maybe if a coach told him, "Hey, this is your job. Quit with all this sideways shaking. Quit, you know what I'm saying, with all this
shucking and jiving.
Then maybe I would like his film a little bit more. But I could see the vision, right? So I got him in the 4th round, but I just wanted him to be a little more stout. I wanted him to be a little more powerful. There's time to be athletic. There's time to be athletic. Tyleek Williams is a great example of what a good moving 330-pound man should be, right? Because he'll take his doubles, he'll do his dirty work, and when it's time, then he'll go and chase down chase down the outside zone. Like he'll do that when it's time. But I don't want Caldwell standing up trying to play the bat down necessarily. You know what I'm saying? On a run play. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't think he's a terrible player. I just don't like how Oregon used him. And I can't just say it's Oregon because his running mate looked just fine. So I'm just gonna leave it right there.
Great.
So this is another guy who's a son of a former defensive lineman. His dad was used to play at South Carolina, and you could tell, with the way that he rushes the passer, he has a plan in mind when it comes to attacking the quarterback and getting those pressures. Like Vach said, he does not play like a nose tackle. He wants to be. He basically what he is. He's a center shooting threes. That's basically what he is right now. And which that could be nice. As we see teams play more of those two high safeties, they're gonna want those bigger guys who can take up space and also provide a little bit of pass rush too, and have those quicker guys. And we see that with Caldwell. There's times like he has a motor that does not stop. Like he will chase a play down 30 yards down the field. But like Vach said, as far as being the complete package, he has to be more physical. He has to be able to just be like, all right, look, I'm going to stay in this gap. I'm not going to cha-cha. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. I'm going to stay right here and I'm going to hunker down. Because there's times where that's what you need to do if you're right up over the center. Right. And with him, and the other part that I have a big problem with him, and I like him, I'm a fan of his, but he has to do a better job finishing. There's too many times where he's in the backfield, dead to rights, whether it's the quarterback or the running back, and he just misses a tackle.
True.
That cannot happen. You can have all the pressures you want, but you got to be able to finish when the opportunity's there.
What I got for him, he plays lateral to the line of scrimmage on outside zone stuff, and with the way the league is kind of going, he does a good job of staying in that gap, like pressing guys out, and like whenever the back wants to turn up, he's there. Or he's there, but sometimes he'll make the tackle. I will say that. So he does a good job of playing lateral. But like you said, Chris, it's like he wants to be a defensive end, but they making him play inside.
He want to be Harmon.
Yes, and he not.
Definitely want to be.
Yeah, he not. So he needs to find what hit the best version of himself, and not try to be like somebody else. And I think he's gonna be a good player. Yeah. I really do, because he has the body, he has the quickness to do it. He just gotta put some extra, like Bosch word, nuance on it and get good at one spot. Now, going into the league, he'll probably get one position, and if he can master that one position, then they'll let him move around. But I think once they stop, because he got bumped around a lot at Oregon, they 3-1-0-5, and that's a little bit too much for his bag. His bag is put him at 3 and see what happens in the NFL, in my opinion. Cool on Caldwell?
Yep.
Cool on Caldwell. I ain't got nothing else to say about this dribbling 3-point shooting. 0.
Or Zingas.
You know what I'm saying?
Darko Milicic.
Ooh. You went with
you
the
know,
beamer.
I haven't watched basketball since like 2003, so that's all the one I got.
That was a real messed up. But now we got a bigger fella, Alfred Collins from Texas, 6'6", 332, 34-inch arm length. You see the positives I have for him and the negatives as well. Let's see what I typed up for him.
Alfred Collins is a formidable interior defensive lineman, renowned for his imposing stature and athletic prowess. Standing at 6'5.5" and weighing 332 pounds, he possesses a well-proportioned frame with premium length, attributes that have been instrumental in his success on the field. During his tenure at the University of Texas, Collins earned all Big 12 honorable mention in 2023, showcasing his ability to respond instantly to lateral movements by blockers and effectively anchor against double teams. His versatility allows him to stack blocks and maintain gap integrity, making him a valuable asset in various defensive schemes. At the 2025 NFL Scouting Combine, Collins further solidified his draft stock with notable performances. He measured in at 6'5.5" and 332 pounds, aligning with his listed college measurements. While specific drill results were not publicly disclosed, his physical measurements and on-field drills highlighted his agility and fluidity, uncommon for someone of his size. Despite these strengths, areas for improvement include enhancing his body control to reduce instances of imbalance and refining his pass rush techniques to increase pressure on quarterbacks.
Now, for me, he was on the ground a little bit too much. That's why I kind of put that in there. But size and effort and stuff like that, he's straight. But I'll let y'all go before I go into the little spiel I have on him. Foch, take us away with Alfred Collins.
Sometimes, man, he is a sometimes kind of guy. He look incredible sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he look incredible sometimes. Other times it look like he don't know how to play football. It just look like he know how to, run around and get lost a little bit. And that's not me being harsh, but if I'm gonna praise Peebles for being able to hang in there, stack and shed, look around, find the ball, and be aware versus the run, I got to knock everybody else. Mm-hmm. Sometimes Alfred look fantastic versus the run. Sometimes, if the if the run's coming right at him, for sure, he looks fantastic. Then, sometimes he'll have that arm length going, separating on guys. Sometimes he'll really shed and defeat the block. Sometimes, on these gap exchanges, like he's taking two guys with him, splitting it, so his other guy running free and he run free. Like he looks fantastic sometimes, man. But I think it's because he don't really know the nuances of the game. It just looked like he hadn't played football very, very long. I don't know how long he played football. That ain't my business. I just watched film. But he got all the athleticism, the size, strength, and all that. 5 years and still all right, cool. So I bet I'll let y'all. That's a long time to still be all right, cool. But so yeah. But hey, man, he's another one of these clay ball guys, man. And if you can mold him into something you like, I think you have a phenomenal player. But man, a lot of these guys just dice rolls. You got all the dice roll players on this list, man.
Yeah.
And Alfred,
I know we can't get none of the top guys.
Yeah, for sure. But Collins is one of them. Collins, if he is at his full potential, he's a first round guy. Mm-hmm. At his full potential, he's a first round guy, high first round guy. But sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So you gonna have to get your coaches to make that sometimes more often. So that's my take on him.
Before you go, Chris, because we getting these guys that are, I guess the word we would say fringe. So is the fact that they're just out athleting people at some of these schools because of NIL and they're not really coaching? Is that kind of what we're seeing with some of these guys? Because they just getting like the best athletes. Okay, we know, Vaj, that some teams can just get out athleted.
Yep.
But is that maybe where we're headed, Chris? You think that?
Like, what do you mean? What way? Like them just being better athletes, so they just dominate?
Yeah, whoever. I got because of my NIL package, I can get the 8 best defensive linemen I can buy, and then they're gonna whoop up on your 5 average O linemen because you don't have an NIL bigger than mine. And I say that because of Collins, because he go to Texas, and I think Texas might be one of the richest schools behind Ohio State, if not more. I mean, anytime you got a quarterback with a private jet, NIL and a Lamborghini NIL, it is what it is.
I mean, I think it's always going to be like that. I mean, you go back to the 90s and, these blue bloods, they were beating up on lower level schools as well. I think the playing field has kind of like, I don't want to say evened out, but it's gotten a little bit closer when it comes to just the competition across the board and there being a little bit more parity. But I think that's always going to be in college football. If you got the money, you got the backing, you're gonna get the best players.
Gotcha.
I think that's what they're looking for, though, Coach.
What?
Even
money
if
or the coach?
no, they're looking for the rawest of players, and I don't know if they have a desire to mold them into like pro ball players. Like these are Texas players while they're at Texas. They don't have to worry about making them Ravens players. Like that's y'all job to make them Ravens players. So even if you look at like quarterbacks, right? Like arm, like your arm and your ability to, pass the ball and throw the whole tree or whatever, that's probably gone away now. Right. And now we looking for, hey, can you make these handful of throws and like can you run? You know what I'm saying? And if you got a Jalen Milroe type of guy, that may not be what the league wants, but it'll win you games at Bama. You know what I'm saying? So Alfred Collins, yeah, you just line him up versus these offensive linemen that ain't really got technique needed, and he'll look great. But once he's a Raven, you got to fix some of that stuff because it's different.
Right. Go ahead, Chris. On Alfred.
Yeah. So with Alfred, one of the main things that I didn't like about him was he's just always playing high. And I know he's 6'6", but there are plenty of dudes who are 6'6" who don't just pop right up.
Right.
For him, he has the strength to be able to deal with that. But at the next level, that's going to be an issue because you're dealing with grown men that have to feed their families. So if you're popping up, exposing your chest right away, it's going to be problems for you. Now, as far as what I did like about him, I like his base. Like as far as just having that power base. We spoke about Jamar Caldwell, where he doesn't really play with that base of power. He wants to win with quickness and finesse. This dude, he has power. Like if you want him there, he's going to be there. He's going to be able to stack and shed. Some of the best stack and shed you'll see on film comes from him. You pop into Georgia tape and you'll see a bunch of beautiful moves from him and just being able to use that length and that power that he has. But there's a reason why he's not spoken about in the first round. There's a reason why he was behind those two dudes that got drafted last year, Devondre Sweat and who's the other dude from the Seahawks?
Byron
Murphy. So those dudes, they had juice coming off. They were able to kind of be more consistent than he was. And right now, he just doesn't have that consistency yet. But there are elements of his game that get you excited as to what he can be.
All right.
But why did it take 5 years for you to get to this point and not be where they were in 3 years?
2 or 3, right? That's a good question to need to know the answer for. And I look at it just without, and I've looked at the tape, but just say I didn't look at tape, and I'm looking at these numbers right here. He's played consistently since 2021. He's had over 250 snaps from 2022 up until now. He ain't got a lot of pressures, and ain't got but 6 sacks. And I know interior defensive linemen probably ain't gonna get a lot of sacks, but I'm gonna need your pressures to be up there some.
Yeah,
at Texas. So you ain't got a lot of production, but I will say, and Vosh, you said sometime, and I had a different word in mind. He's a situational football player.
Yeah,
he's good in certain situations, and so you'll see him flash and a screen and retrace, and he'll punch the ball out because he can move fairly well to be that size.
Yeah.
What's that? An outstanding rip move when he uses it, and I think Chris, you was talking about that Georgia game. It was a couple of plays where he did the grip and pull. And kind of embarrassed Booker and it was I don't know if Radley played that game, but he was working on their guards pretty good with that same move until they figured it out later in the game. So he has potential in him, especially with that size. Again, the NFL you got to coach him. You got to coach him up because he, unfortunately, is ball of clay guy. We purposely didn't put top guys on here, people. So because you just, for us, it's not realistic to say we're gonna get a Mason Graham or any of those other guys, even Collins, some of the other guys. That's why we got back end guys that we may get in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, or we got 27 6th round picks. You never know.
That's where I got Collins in the 4th. So
Okay. All right. And the last guy on the list is this guy. This is Omar Norman Lott.
that's Aaron Donald right there.
6'2", 291. And he does flash like that.
Mm-hmm. Pass rush down. The pass rush.
Just know in my I got a little paragraph right here for my notes.
Mm-hmm.
I use the word flash 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times.
Damn.
So I'll save it till we get to the end, and let's run through on this Omar Norman Lott, number 55 for Tennessee. Now, the funny thing is, when I watched Lott and I was watching his clips, I didn't have to watch long because there ain't a lot of snaps.
Nope.
You know who he was.
It ain't a lot of snaps.
9-minute film. 9-minute film.
If that.
Omar Norman Lott is an interior defensive lineman known for his quickness and disruptive play style. Standing at 6'2" and weighing 291 pounds, he utilizes his agility to penetrate offensive lines effectively. His active hands and short area athleticism enable him to disengage from blockers and make tackles efficiently. During his tenure at Tennessee, Norman Lott demonstrated a relentless motor, consistently applying pressure on opposing offenses. At the 2025 NFL Scouting Combine, Norman Lott showcased his athleticism with a broad jump of 9 feet 5 inches and a vertical jump of 31.5 inches. Additionally, he recorded the largest hand measurement among defensive linemen at 10.4 inches. Despite these impressive metrics, concerns about his size and ability to handle power-focused offensive schemes persist. His lack of mass can make it challenging to anchor against downhill rushing attacks, and he may struggle against power-running teams. Nevertheless, his explosive first step and pass rushing skills make him a valuable asset in one-gap schemes that prioritize penetration and disruption.
Omar Norman Lott. Chris, we'll start with you with Omar Norman Lott.
Just to start it off, I just want to say fuck Tennessee and this stupid ass rotation that they have, because it just doesn't make any sense. Like, you watch this dude and you like, because I would watch the whole game and I'm like, where the hell is 55?
Mm-hmm.
And then it'd be like midway through the second quarter and you're like, oh, there he is. He's making plays. Oh, okay. And then you watch the next game and you're like, oh, they're doing the same thing all over again. And I don't know what the rhyme or reason is, but anyway, dude is incredibly quick and explosive coming off the ball. This guy, he's playing with violence, but he has the quickness, but he has the violence to go with it. A lot of times we see dudes who are quick, they want to be finesse guys. This dude, he can be a finesse guy, but he could also switch it up and give you some of that power too. He sets guys up a lot. He's not just a one-trick pony where he's just doing an arm over or, chicken winging it, like y'all say. I do think he has to clean up the penalties. There was a lot of times where he came in crazy, kind of like when we see with Matabike. We know how frustrating that could be, where he's coming in crazy, he's grabbing the face mask, hitting after the whistle or something like that.
But look at him.
Yeah, and you got to clean that up when you get to the next level. But as far as the production, because I say fuck Tennessee, but then he was at Arizona State before, and Arizona State kind of did the same thing with him.
Mm-hmm.
So I know teams are going to be digging, like, why was this? Is it a him problem? Like, what was the reasoning for this? So I would love to know that, because the dude is obviously impressive physically. He makes plays. So it's just weird to see him not have as many snaps as you see from some of these lesser guys. Well, these guys who aren't as talented as he is.
True that.
Part of me feel like if I would have saw him play more, then maybe he'll have a chance to redeem himself versus the run. But then I saw him versus the run sometimes. I'm like, all right, man, you ain't really trying to tackle that running back. But that's his game, man. His game is getting upfield, hauling ass, fast and beat gap. That's how he gets down, man. And he he does have a feel for his hands. Swipe, swim, arm over, like you said. And I do think that he does well for the amount of plays that he plays.
Mm-hmm.
We just want to see more. You know what I'm saying? But consistency is gonna be a problem for a lot of these guys. Pad level is gonna be a problem for a lot of these guys. You know what I'm saying? Coming off the ball, standing up, like that's a big issue with this whole class. And he has it bad too. Now when he gets to the league, is he a guy that's gonna be in on rundowns early? I don't know. Maybe a team will take him and they'll put him right into that pass rush situation. They'll just work on his run defense over time. But as a pass rushy kind of B gap guy, I think he's ready to go right now.
Sure. And I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna read this one because I was summarizing a lot of my synopsis, but I'm gonna read this one verbatim so you can see all the flashes.
Please.
Had a bunch of flashes.
There's one.
Flashes, violent hands.
Okay.
Flashes, pass rush from the interior. Flashes, some quickness. Flashes, some ass whoop.
You could have said flash, hands, quickness, ass whooping. You could have put that in one compound sentence, man. I'm sick, man. Don't make me laugh. That could have been one sentence, man.
Nothing consistent, just a lot of flashes.
That could have been one flash, man. You ain't no.
Hey, that's what I saw when I saw what I saw.
I got you.
And I'm like Chris, and Chris, I'm with you with Tennessee on both sides of the ball.
Oh yeah, don't even get me started on the offense.
My 6'5" receiver, I can't really judge him running 4 routes the whole season. But that's another story for another day. So that's what we have for those guys. Let me take this off real quick. Hold on. Let me close this out. Let me change my screen, but it's just us up here. I don't like that one. We don't like that one. Get out of here. Don't like that one either. I feel like I'm getting the guests about it here.
We're gonna get it right. It's all right.
Get this, man.
It's all right. We're gonna get it right. The next one gonna be it.
I was trying to use my my teleprompter as a screen, and that something a little. My eyes old, so it is what it is. So, all right. With that being said, we're gonna hold you for about another 10-15 minutes. Botch. I see you over there coughing.
I'm good, man.
Chris, combine happened this week. I don't know how much you got a chance to see, or how much you got a chance to take in. And I put out a list of guys yesterday that I felt like were combine winners to me. In what you saw, who and in any position, you just pick a couple guys who stood out at the combine for you.
Well, the one that comes to mind right away is Shamar Stewart. Obviously, blowing it up and moving the way he did at that size is just elite. Elite testing numbers for a guy that height and that size. And that's pretty much what we spoke about when we did the edge rushers. I said that dude is an elite athlete. Like we see good athletes on tape, and then there's a difference between elite and then good. And we saw how good he is as far as testing. And then just going on I'll give you one defense and one offense. On the offensive side, Jalen Noel, or Jalen Noel, I don't know how the hell you pronounce it, but he's that dude, strong, fast, explosive. He was just he did everything. He just knocked it out the park. So I think those two dudes really helped themselves out a lot as far as the combine testing.
And for you, Botch?
I don't really be caring about this combine like that, dog. Look, while I be watching the combine, I don't move nobody on my board. But
but let me put it like this: not because when I did my list yesterday, it wasn't like who moved or who I like thought moved up the board or who like that I didn't know. It's more about they got some numbers. Let me go see if the tape matched the numbers.
Yeah. Matthew Golden, wide receiver, Texas. I was a little early on him. I was a big fan of his for a while. He was a first round grade for me. He's my let's see, I got my board right here. He's my 8th overall player. I love him to pieces. I just think Texas didn't really learn how to use him to the end of the season, to them last 3, 4, 5 games, and boy, did they use him. And him going out there
when had these issues.
Yeah, for sure. And him going out there, running that 40, track guy, of course. It may not change anything for me, but what it'll do is I'll look and I go, okay, well, the league probably is bumped him up a little bit, So I thought he had a good day. As far as defense go, I just pick a guy, Nick Amenawari.
Glad you brought that up.
The safety. Let me tell you what's so
Glad you brought that up.
What's so slick about these guys, man. When they be picking and choosing what they ain't gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So I thought he was a guy that is very athletic. He can jump around. He can run in a straight line real good. But on the film, he don't move sideways all that good. So when he get to the combine, he don't do no sideways stuff. I say, all right, that's confirmed. But shouts out to Nickel Mental Warrior for going out there and being impressive, I guess. So those are my two.
Great transition. I saw them numbers and I'm like, and I told the chat yesterday, hey, on my second channel, I'm doing a Nick Inamaru video. I'm putting it, whatever it is. I like Noah Igbinani. Remember that?
No, in Omni.
But so I got over there today. I'm watching this tape. I'm like, okay, Ellis. Okay, let me watch Bama. Then I watched. I think the next one was Georgia, maybe that I got because I got 4.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this video because this ain't. I can't put enough good clips up here to justify my time with this dude.
I got him in the 3rd. Some people got him like a top 18, 20 guy. I think that's crazy.
Motherfuckers got him going 27 to Baltimore.
And it's funny, Vach, that you say that, you know, how he didn't do any of the stuff where he's moving laterally. But then you look at Malachi Starks, who doesn't test that well. But then you see him on the field and you're like, ooh, okay. Yeah. That translates. You know, you see that on film. You know, when it comes to these football workouts, you see what translates on and off the field. Yeah. And I think that's the difference where do you want a guy who's going to be the super athlete or do you want a guy who's going to be cerebral, going to know how to, you know, move efficiently and, you know, be there when he needs to be. Yeah. And I'm taking the latter every single time.
Kid in Texas, the best safety. That's just my own personal thing.
You see, Uncle Mel got him going to Baltimore.
Andrew Makuba. Yeah.
That dude, he's underrated.
Safety 1 for me.
He's underrated, that dude.
Second round.
What about the kid from is it
Notre Dame?
I'm thinking Georgia. Or maybe that's Malachi. Maybe that's Malachi Starks. Starks from
Georgia.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Watts is Notre Dame. Yep.
Gotcha. For me, and I just finished the vid on him today. Tootin.
Okay.
Virginia Tech.
Bayshore
Tootin.
Yeah.
Again, just casually watching like everybody else.
Yeah.
He pops that 4.3, and I'm like,
Fine.
Then they said North Carolina A&T first. So that really sparked my attention. Okay, he started at HBCU. So let me go see if his tape matches his that 40. Yeah. If you run outside zone,
he gone.
There's a guy for you later on in the draft.
Yep.
If outside zone is a staple of your team, that's a guy. His tape was a lot better than I expected it to be. I thought it was just going to see a guy that just maybe got in space and just tried to outrun people. He can do some things. He can work some things.
It's some running backs in this class, man. It is some running backs in this class, and they're gonna go like you just got to get one. Even if you feel like you don't need one, you just got to get one, bring them in, and let them, you know what I'm saying, fight for a spot on your roster just to have just do it.
Genty. I know you was looking at Genty for Cowboys in that area. Do you think he gets there? And are you satisfied with a second tier guy? Because it technically is him and maybe Hampton and then the rest of the guys. What do you feel about Genty? How do you feel like, you know, with the level of competition?
Yeah.
And whatnot? Do you feel like it's all hype or you feel he the real deal?
Man, first game I watched was versus Oregon, and he was by himself versus all the Oregon kids and Derek Harmon. Harmon, Birch, and Caldwell beating the hell out the Boise State kids, and he just run for a smooth 190. I say, cool, no problem. You know, Penn State averaged 5 a carry just by himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't want to lean into the narrative that he's not playing great competition. You know what I'm saying? He whoop everybody. I think it's unrealistic for Cowboy fans to love a player and think he's elite and not think that other teams don't love him and think he's elite also. True. So if he's there at 12, we can have a party, but I don't think he'll be there at 12 because somebody will love him just as much as we do. I think he's an absolute game changer. And I think even if it's not the smartest thing to do, he wins you football games right now. Wide receiver first, O-line first, corner first may be the smarter thing in the long run. But the running back will win you games right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the Cowboys are a team that's trying to win games right now while they quarterback on his last 4-year hurrah. So I'll take him. But the real flex, I just can't control how the cards and the picks fall or whatever. But the real flex is to get McMillan because they're overthinking him for whatever reason, and go and get Hampton and let Hampton fly. Because as a Cowboy fan, I know this intimately. You can either lead the league in rushing with Zeke as a 4th overall guy, or you can lead the league in rushing with Murray, who is a 3rd-round player from Oklahoma. And it just all works out either way. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on, scheme is more important to me, and how we call run plays and how it pairs with the pass is, much more important. I'm not one of these cats that just think you could just draft a 7th round and he'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? For every good 7th-round running back, there's 10 Mike Webbers that just didn't work. But round 1, 2, and 3, I think all those guys will work. Henderson, Harvey, I think all those guys will be fine. Sampson, I think all those guys will be fine.
Chris, question for you. So I'm assume Shador and Cam are 1-2 quarterback wise for you. And I know we don't talk much quarterback wise on you, but I brought this up because of kind of what Josina put out there. Do you think those other guys, Jackson Dart, some of those other names, Ewers, are they even close to those two?
Shouts out to Josina, man. Buy her ass some shoes, boy.
First of all, I'm offended that you would even say Quinn Ewers to me, because that's disrespectful. So I'm gonna make believe you didn't even say his name. For me, yeah, it's Ward and Shador. I was talking to Mike and Kerry yesterday. Shout out to them, and I was saying, if Shador was Shador Favre, they would be talking about his moxie and his confidence and how great it is. But since he's Deion's son, it's a problem. And he got his hat on backwards and he got the chains on, and they don't like that.
Yeah.
So he's a problem. So I mean, it's nonsense. We see it every year.
They like moxie, but they don't like swag. You know what I'm saying?
They like moxie when it's a certain color. They like swag when it's a certain color.
We don't have moxie. Baker Mayfield didn't have swag. He had moxie.
Yeah, moxie. But I'm glad you said Baker, because I like Baker. But Baker do the same thing that
he was bumping Drake at his pro day, and he was, he had his helmet on and his shorts at his pro day, and he was talking the moxie on Baker Mayfield. He's fiery, the leader of Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, that whipping and nay.
If you do the same thing with a watch on, you know what I'm saying? You're arrogant.
It's a problem.
It is what it is, man. And part of it could be true, but part of it could be, okay, we like this dude. We need to bring his level down so we can try to get him. That's the other part of that conversation too. But we don't, I just hate that people come out and make that stuff, I ain't gonna say public, but just say it recklessly without really understanding. Like, that dude, he not like the rest of us.
Right.
He ain't like most people in the draft. He's never wanted for nothing.
Yep. And
even if you screw him some kind of way football wise, he'll still never want for nothing. So all the little mind games that, and I'm gonna say we sometimes as coaches play, it don't work on him. Because he just grew up different, in a different mindset, different household.
Can he play? That's all that matters to me.
Exactly. Can he win you games?
Can he play?
That's the bottom line. Can he win you games?
Yeah, all this other stuff is just nonsense, and it's all of that good old boy club talk and that nonsense that they have as far as, oh, this guy got tattoos. Oh, this guy, he doesn't speak, the way us owners speak. Like we see it all the time with Lamar. Lamar is not switching up. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. Lamar is Lamar.
Right.
And they don't like that. We know why.
True that. I just wish it would be on. I wish a lot of stuff would be on merit and what you do, and not about your appearance and your how you handle yourself. Just can you convert on 3rd and 7? Can you play good situational football?
Get the ball out on time.
Can you get it out on time? And can you improvise in certain situations? I don't need you to run around. Nobody got to be Lamar, Jaden Daniels. Can you move around enough? And it don't have to be out the pocket. Can you move around enough in the pocket to get the ball off? And can you some people just need to be Mike Winchell. Can you exist in these 3 seconds to hand the ball off to Booby Miles?
That's it. Oh, that's his name? Okay.
The quarterback? Yeah.
Okay, cool. I get it.
Mike Winchell.
I get the analogy now.
But with that being said, man, that's kind of our draft junkies for the day. So you officially have been hit with the high watch of being a part of draft junkies. That's me and Chris. Yep, tap that on up. But any question for Vach that you have, Chris?
So let's say if you have Tet, the wide receiver, you have Tet there, and you have Genty there. Who are you going with?
On my board, because I don't want to window dress it. Genty is my third best guy.
Ooh.
Okay.
So I'm taking Genty. I don't care that he's a running.
Is it public? Your board?
Yeah.
So who's 1 and 2?
Travis and Carter.
Okay.
Travis. I think Travis's ability to play both at a high level. I'm not one of them people that think he's the best receiver and the best corner in this class. I think that's nonsense. I think he's the best corner and a really, really good receiver. But I think him being able to do both, I just kind of got him up there. Carter's a dog, Genty at 4, Graham at 5, and Tet McMillan is Graham is 4 and Tet is 5. Josh Simmons, the left tackle from Ohio State, 6. So
man, Chris talked about it. Both of us like him.
Simmons the best tackle that I don't know why they keep trying to push Will Campbell on her. I don't know why they keep trying to push. Will Campbell.
Emory looks just as good as Will. Now Emory ain't as consistent.
He ain't as consistent, and he don't move as well, but he does his job on par at the same percentage that Will does. Will just look a little better doing it, but I don't think Will got the greatest film. Right. For real. Josh Simmons got the best film on all these offensive linemen. Just as O-line guy, I've been advocating for him, and the news came out for him that his knee good to go. He'd be ready for the regular season for camp, I guess, or whatever. So people act like Josh Simmons ain't in the conversation. Boy, you better watch some film.
That's me and Chris talked about it on here. Like I think both of us said he had the best O-line film that we've seen in this cycle.
Well, the only question with him is the injury, and like Vach just said, and we finally got clarity on it too, Coach.
Because we didn't know.
Reports. Yeah, it's a patella, so we got that out the way. So he's good to go.
That's all right. He good to go with a patella. Yeah, he can grow another one of them. He's straight. He's good to go. Straight. But yeah, man, I'm taking Genty, even though the responsible thing is to take the wide receiver and get Hampton later. But what I wouldn't want to do is get cute and don't take Genty and be like, oh, well, Hampton and Caleb Johnson will be right there. And then Hampton go, and then Johnson go, and then Henderson go, and there's this run. So by the time you get to 44, all your second round guys gone. I don't want to do that, especially if you the Cowboys, you need a runner. So I just take Genty and win them games, man, and just deal with it later.
Yep.
Cool. And so your ideal pick is Tet?
My ideal is Travis or Carter.
Realistically.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think Ted will be there. I think this is just some new little mess coming out. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Ted's slow. He's just not a 4.4 guy. Ted probably run like a 4.5, but all my favorite receivers ran right around that time. Like CeeDee Lamb is a 4.5 guy. Nuke Hopkins and Fitzgerald, they 4.5 guys. Like, I think Kiper really told on himself a little bit. He came out and said, well, McMillan is winning these contested catches versus the college kids. Well, can he do that versus the pros? Well, first of all, that's a question you got to ask about every receiver. But there's tangible film of McMillan creating a shadow over Travis Hunter that they agree is the best corner. that they agree is the best corner in the draft. A shadow, a silhouette in the air over Travis Hunter multiple times, last year and this year. I think Kiper kind of told on himself a little bit. So, it's combine time, is line season. I can't love Tet and be like, oh yeah, don't nobody love Tet but me. He'll fall to 12. Tet probably be gone by the time we go.
All right.
So I ain't even think about it. So Burden, Golden, Tyler Booker is a guy that I wouldn't mind taking at 12. Kid from Ohio State, Jade
Really?
Bam. I got Booker up there.
Okay.
I love some damn Tyler Booker. I got Booker up there. Booker's my boy.
I think he might be the best pure guard, but y'all so high up there. That's why I say it really, because y'all almost damn near lottery.
Man,
Unfortunately.
If you take Zach Martin at 16, you just don't even complain about taking Zach Martin at 16. You know what I'm saying? Or if you as long as it work out. As long as it work out for you. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't want to get cute and be like, all right, well, Booker's there. I don't want to draft him, but I don't like, Kelvin Banks more than Booker. I like Kelvin Banks, but I like Booker a lot more. I don't want to get cute with my board. You know what I'm saying? Like I make the board for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Kenny Grant, tackle from Michigan. I like him, but he ain't up there. I don't want to be like, oh, I need a D tackle. Kenny Grant may be my 20th player, but Booker's my 9th. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to just window dress my board right there. If I love Booker and when I cut his, cut his film on, I smile. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. It don't matter when you draft him.
All right. And the last thing, and I'll get you out of here. And Chris, I'm gonna get your opinion on this too. The two Iowa State guys that I've really, really taken a liking to. Darren Porter and Jaden Higgins. Higgins. Chris, what do you think about? Because me and you talked about Higgins already. What do you think about Porter? And then when Chris gives me his thing, Baj, I want you to tell me what you think about both of those guys.
So Porter, he's a former wide receiver, so we like that, and you see that with ball skills that he has. And he wasn't just a guy who was playing off, and we see that in college a lot. He was a guy that they put up there to press, and he was moving around. He was traveling. And I like that, because when you go to the NFL, there's a whole learning curve for these cornerbacks. If you're a guy who just lined up on one side of the field in the NFL, well, speaking for the Ravens, that's not going to fly.
Right.
You're going to have to learn every single spot. And I like that he's coming into the league with that already under his belt. Obviously, athletic testing is phenomenal. Can he be like that Tyreek Woolen type? As far as a guy who can have ball skills, he may not be technically the most refined guy, but because he has all of this athletic ability and length, that can make up for it. And then eventually with time, the technique will catch up to his athletic ability. I think you can get a guy who can possibly be along that same spectrum.
Corner, you can draft corners all over the place, but what really matters is once you get to the league, like what y'all run. You know what I'm saying? So Porter, you can get him in, whatever round. Let's just say he go third round or something like that, whatever. Right. But if you cover 3 team, he'd be a ridiculous cover.
Oh, yes.
He'd be a stupid cover 3. He might be one of, like, y'all remember Josh Norman was just one of the best cornerbacks in the league for like 3 years, whatever. Because like they played a bunch of cover 3 and he fit right into that defense. He just, what I'm saying, whatever. I think Darren Porter would be fantastic at that. Now I do think he can, do some man stuff, and normally when you see corners long like that, you don't really think they can turn and run all the way. He can turn and run really well. Which is cool. I didn't think he was going to run that fast at the combine or whatever. But, when I watched him, just ball skills wise, just being able to, be a wide receiver right there. Let this dude just run some deep thirds, have his back to the sideline, and just read the quarterback all day. I think he'll get picks in the league like that. But I'm a fan of him. I'm a fan of him. I got him in the 4th right now. Yeah, I might move him up to the 3rd or something like that. I got a lot of corners I like this year, but he's like cornerback, like 8 for me right now.
Before you go into Higgins, I pulled this up because I saw this earlier today, and this says cumulative coverage production by scheme. I got a bunch of guys that we saw yesterday, and green is good in this metric. Yeah. Porter's zone coverages are all green.
Yeah,
that's what I was like. We can get him on the team and play cover 3 or
we didn't practice this. We didn't rehearse this.
Right. That's why I just randomly pulled this up. And we get him on a team and they can play coverage and then maybe teach him and let him get better in man.
Yeah.
Because you ain't spending the first on him. You getting him in 2nd or 3rd, maybe even 4th.
Yeah.
At 6'3", running that fast.
Yep.
Then that's a guy you can kind of build with, especially if some of your other guys like JADIR ain't gonna pan out. And the IR stands for injury reserve, about just in case you didn't know.
Okay, I got you.
But what you think about the receiver on this team as well? Because we already got a Cyclone at corner already. He didn't play this year. I guess we kind of stashed him. But what you think about Higgins, the receiver?
It's odd because you see him be so tall and long, and they line him up inside all the time. You know what I'm saying? And he plays inside more than he does, as an outside guy. So I don't think he's going to be a big slot guy for the rest of his life. So I would love to see him out there. But I think I was worried about whether he was going to run well or not. But his combine was faster than his film is. Just my own personal opinion. But he is kind of smooth for a tall, moving slot route running, kind of tall guy, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Man, he's a slot receiver.
So he's not going to be a big X for you because you don't see big X plays out of him. You see tall slot receiver stuff, and it looks weird. It looks strange to see how long he is over there. But it works for him. So I got him in the 4th round. Cool player. I like him.
Yeah, he's a tall, twitchy player, and you normally don't put them two words together.
Yeah.
He can do that quick slant stuff. He can run you some whip routes. He can do all the stuff the little slot receivers can do.
Yeah.
I don't see enough of him being 6'4".
Right.
He's 6'4", but don't have no power. I ain't gonna say don't have no. He wasn't asked to do a lot of power forward stuff.
Sure.
Put it like that. So it may be in his skill set, but we weren't able to see it. Kind of like we don't know what's in Thornton's skill set.
Right.
From Tennessee.
A yak dude is what he is, but he only ran so much. He only ran them hitches and slants though. You know.
What'd you say? They go to what's coming turn around?
He run upfield and turn around is what he do.
All right. So with that being said, man, I appreciate you, Voch, for coming through. If you don't follow Voch, we're in draft season, so the content ain't specific to Cowboys. You go over there and check him out at his channel and go ahead and let us know what all you got going on, because you got a bunch of stuff going on right now.
Man, humbly, respectfully, man, I just wanted to come through and show love on the show and, you know what I'm saying, kick it with you and all that. But, just Voch Lombardi, Twitter, Voch Lombardi on YouTube. I'm dropping film sessions. We do live stuff. Me and Brian Broadus, we do a 32-team breakdown of draft stuff. And we don't just talk about first round guys every day. So, we take 10 guys for the week and we watch them and we break them down all weekend. Now we're in the 150s or whatever player wise. So we just breaking down players. So tap in there and on DallasCowboys.com, their little goofy draft show or whatever. They've invited me to come out there and tear it up. So go to DallasCowboys.com YouTube page or on their website, and I'll be on their draft show. So I appreciate y'all.
You forgot somebody, another site that you be on.
I'll be on
the BR
Bleacher Report. I'll be on Bleacher Report Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Bleacher Report Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 6 p.m. Central. Not this week because I'm sick and I've been calling out, but tap
PTO,
in,
baby.
Yeah, for sure. That's more Cowboy centric stuff. So I don't know if y'all want to fool with it, but if y'all like me, man, hey, come on through and tap in with me over on the BR.
The last thing he did that really I'm proud of him for was the last minute color commentary, I would say. The Shrine Bowl. Talk about that for a quick second, how that came about.
Yeah, man. The people that they had doing the Shrine Bowl, they didn't like the performance that they gave. So they tried to reach out and find some new people, and Sean Merriman called my phone. You know what I'm saying? I ain't say how you get my number because that's what I'm Natchez, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't say how you get my number. But Sean Merriman, called my phone and said, hey, can you come down here? And me and my guy Zach, Woolchuck or whatever, he does the radio and TV stuff or whatnot. He said, hey, can y'all just come down and commentate practice? And I'm like, hell yeah, I'll come down and talk about pass rushing one-on-one. That's, you know what I'm saying? So hell yeah, Sean Merriman. I kept calling him Sean. I said, hell yeah, Sean Merriman. I'll be down there to talk about the, you know what I'm saying, to do your thing. And that was a cool thing to do. So go to his Lights Out app. That's where the Shrine Bowl practices are, and you'll hear me breaking down the one-on-ones from O-line and D-line. That was a cool little thing I did. Appreciate you, Coach.
That's dope.
Yeah. Just because of the work on the tube has landed some in life TV ish type work, and you never know where to go from there. So
YouTube is a portal as long as you take it seriously. If you
Mhm.
take your craft seriously and come to work every day and do it righteously, YouTube will pay off.
most definitely. Now I will say this, but I don't know if you do or not, but it's Chris and it's two more guys. And I be begging them, and life be life, and so this is not like a what's called, but I be begging them to do more content, because when you get them three together, it's a good mixture of it's great chemistry.
Yeah.
And that's behind his head is Deep Cover Podcast, and they random as hell. I think what's last time I put them out about 5 weeks ago,
like January.
but when they get together, it's gold, and they invite me on to do their draft pick'em. So it's like a tournament style pick'em show. We try to pick
like March Madness.
Yeah, before the Ravens pick.
Yeah,
and I think I've done the last 3 or 4, and we've been right all but once, I think, on picking it. And so what you have to do is so we'll pick a person, and I have to argue why the Ravens should pick that person. And then I argue versus the other person, and then the people that's not arguing, they judge.
Okay.
And so it's been a fun exercise to do, and we've gotten it right 3 of the 4 times. I think they did it once without me, but when you get a chance, check them guys out again. It won't mess up none of your timing, because you never know when it's gonna happen.
And that's
live more, man. Go live and getting that rhythm.
That's actually a good segue, because we got something cooking up. We're gonna drop something most likely next week. We got a little something cooking up, so be on the lookout for that. Deep cover with Denard Wilson too. Denard Melton, my bad. Denard Melton. I got
the coach.
I got coaches on my mind. Denard Melton. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. We're gonna be dropping that sometime next week.
Tap in.
Cool. So I appreciate both of you guys for coming out with us, man. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all chose to be here with me. So like, comment, subscribe, share the Deep Cover Pod. Bosh Lombardi on all platforms. Is that Deep Cover live? Is what was asked, Chris? Is it gonna be recorded? You asked too many questions, Osman.
For Osman, I'm gonna say yeah.
Get the show when you get it, man. Quit asking all this question details. Just get the show when you get it.
Right. Just click the button when it pop up on your phone, on your TV. On that note, man, I appreciate y'all in the chat box. I appreciate y'all watching the replay, and the 2 guys on the screen. I appreciate y'all, man. And on that note,
Anytime.